Hey, what's going on, my friend? NT Izuchi here, your internet marketing coach and mentor. Welcome back to my classroom. And in this video, as briefly as possible, and I say briefly because you guys know I tend to ramble, I like to listen to myself speak and watch my videos over and over and over again afterwards. I'm just kidding, but not really. Anyway, in this video, what I'm going to do is cover the basics of SEO, search engine optimization. Now, everyone's going to be like, oh, SEO, it's so technical, it's so hard. Wrong. Okay, I don't know what the gurus have been telling you, but it's actually pretty simple. So what I'm going to do is break down basically on-page and off-page SEO. Now, I have my handy-dandy, little tablet here, and I'm actually going to read some of the points that I've talked about in the blog post. I actually already wrote the blog post, so what I'm going to do is basically go over some of the on-page stuff, some of the off-page stuff. Just take some notes, take some time, let it sink in, and basically in the private training, I actually go into much further detail on the different points that I'm going to touch on basically in this video. So without further ado, let's get right to it because I do want to cover quite a bit of stuff. Okay, so basically, you got to really sit back and think, when does Google recognize you, right? Google starts to recognize you, your content, things like that after a period of time, right? So if you have a brand new website up, okay, don't think that you're going to get your blog posts and your content ranked, okay, out the gates, okay? You got to have to show some legitimacy, right? So if you're blogging for an extended period of time, say, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, right? And you're really giving that good content, that's when Google starts to say, hey, look, this person over here is actually some good stuff. And they're constantly pumping out content into the marketplace. Okay, so that's what you really want to do when you're blogging, creating content, period. Okay, with consistency over time, you're gonna get recognized in the search engines, whether it be Yahoo, Bing, YouTube, which is also a video search engine, and Google. Okay, so let's look at some things for on-page SEO. And while I do this, I'm gonna kind of, like I said, as briefly as possible, kind of break down, why you're doing some of these practices. Okay, so let's go on page, right? On-page SEO. Now, on-page SEO is literally things that you're going to be doing to your actual blog post that's going to be more visual to the readers. And that's what we're doing search engine optimization for the viewers, not for the search engines, okay? You're doing SEO, you're writing your content, creating your content for the people first, for the consumer first, search engine seconds, okay? You take care of the consumers and the search engines will take care of you, okay? So on page, the first thing you're going to want to, the first part of SEO is keyword research, right? Keyword research. Now, when you are creating a piece of content, you want to target a keyword that is relevant, a keyword that is being searched in the search engines, okay? And that's how you get traffic. You go to some of these tools like Google Keyword Planner, okay? Or Google Trends, right? To kind of see what's trending, what's going on, what are people searching for, okay? And you basically see what people are searching for, make sure it's getting a decent amount of traffic. I mean, honestly, sometimes I write content for keywords that are being searched maybe 200 times a month. And a lot of times people are like, oh, that's not enough. Well, there's 200 people who are looking for, or asking questions with that keyword. Hey, get some of that traffic right there. So keyword research is important. You're going to be using these keyword phrases, keyword terms within your content, and most importantly in your title, okay? Because that's going to be the subject matter. That's how you're going to be found. So basically keyword research. You got to, research words that are actually being searched within the search engines, okay? And next is going to be formatting. Now, what do I mean by formatting? Okay, when you're creating your pieces of content, I'm talking about formatting your piece of content so that it actually is scannable by the consumers, right? Most people are either going to come to your blog post or your pages and stuff like that, either just watch the video that's there, or they're not going to want to watch the video and they're just going to want to scan through your piece of content really quickly and find the answers that they're looking for. So how do you do that? You use things like bullet points, right? Numbered points, headers, okay? Things like that, like H1. So, let's say within a piece of content, you wanted to touch on 3 different answers or something like that that's going to talk about the subject. Well, you use the H1 tag to make it big, so people can know and see, like, hey, let's say we're talking about SEO, right? And we were talking about some of these things. If I wanted to talk on 3 things on SEO and I was using keyword research and formatting for one thing, I would use the formatting and I'd put that in H1 just to let people know, like, hey, this is the answer you're looking for because it's big, it's bold, things like that. And using bullet points and number points to basically help, really break down, like, here are the quick answers right here, okay? Next is what? Media, right? Now, why is media important to your content, right? When I mean media, I mean, your images, right? I mean your videos, right? And I mean your like podcasts, right? Right? Your visual, your audios, things like that. Now, the reason why you're going to do that is, one, it keeps people engaged longer on your website, your content, right? So if you have a video and you have someone watch a 5-minute video, well, that person was on your page for 5 minutes. That's pretty substantial, considering that people only, the average website only has people on a page or even on a website at that for about 14 to like 30 seconds before they they bounce out. You have a video on there, you have some type of audio on there or a nice image that people can stare at for the next 30 seconds, you're going to start beating out a lot of your competition, because Google is going to give you that edge over people, because you're keeping people on your website longer. And again, you're doing this not for the search engines, right? You're doing this for the consumers. You want your consumers to like and look at nice images on your website. You want them to look at videos, right? To watch your videos. You want them to listen to your podcast, right? To help build your brand and get that personal aspect to your marketing, your content marketing efforts, okay? So again, moving right along, right? Navigation, right? Now, why is navigation important? Navigation, when I talk about navigation, I'm talking about your top navigation bar, right? And your categories, right? Again, you're doing this for people, because when people get to your website, you don't want them to be confused about what this website is about. So on your top navigation, you can have these little pages, these little navigation buttons that kind of talk about different things. So for myself, for example, I have a tab for my personal coaching. I have a tab for search engine optimization, because I teach that. Content marketing, because I teach that. Social media marketing, because I teach that, and sales funnel and email conversions. Okay, so those are some of the main things that are on my top navigation bar, because that's what I teach. And so when people come to my website, they kind of get a gist of what it is that I'm teaching on my website. And the categories, right? You can start categorizing your posts, your pages, things like that, to let people know exactly what category is this going to fall into. And again, you're doing this for people, so people can quickly get to the things that they want to read and learn more about. And again, if you take care of the consumers on this end, the search engines will take care of you, okay, and start ranking you for terms that are relevant to your particular niche. And that's how you use your categories and your top navigation bar to kind of let the search engines know as well what your website is about, okay? Next is going to be meta information, right? Meta info, right? And what that is basically, it's more like background, it's kind of just background information for this. Pretty much this is one for the search engines, right? So things like your descriptions, right? Your descriptions, when you're describing what a post is going to be about. Things like, what else we have here? Your keyword tags, right? Your keywords, right? Right? Your URL slugs. Now, this is some of the things I'll take for descriptions, for example. That's going to be something that you kind of write a short, like 2 or 3 sentences about what this particular page is going to be about. Because when you share that to, like, say, social media, you never know, when I post my blog content, underneath the image, it has like a quick, like, little, they're in pretty small words, but it kind of tells you what that blog post is going to be about. Not when I'm actually typing it into the area where you basically hit send, but like when you share it, there's going to be a nice little area down there that briefly tells a quick synopsis as to what you're talking about. Your keywords, basically, like terms that you would like to be, that is associated with internet marketing. So if I have a post about internet marketing, I might tag it with social media if I talk about social media within that piece of content. If it's video marketing, something that's in there that I talk about video marketing, that's the keyword tags you're going to be using. And your URL slug. So for example, ntizuchi.com/basics of SEO, or SEO basics, right? That's going to be the URL slug in this actual blog post that you're watching on. And again, that's the information that Google and the rest of the search engines are seeing, okay, in your information, because it lets them know exactly what it is that your content is going to be about. This stuff is not hard. This is like, you just do, this stuff just happens. It's not even like, doesn't even take really much effort at all to do this stuff, okay? So at least, and here's my personal thing, at least 500 words. Now here's why I say that. 500 words is not that much, and Google tends to rank, okay, the pieces of content that are a little bit longer, okay? Content sells, content educates, content helps people make informed decisions, and that's what the search engine's purpose is, okay, to get the best answers in front of the consumers. That is it, okay? So again, I'm going pretty fast, but this is just the basics, okay? Just to let you get an understanding of some of the things that you're gonna want, that go into SEO. And again, this stuff is not hard at all. If it was hard, I wouldn't be doing it. Trust me on that, okay? So that just goes for the on page. Now, briefly, I'm gonna go over the off page before I let you go. It is a beautiful Sunday out, and I'm trying to get outside and enjoy some of this weather, okay? So I love you guys to death, but you know what? Not that much. Just kidding. Anyway, off page. Now, when we go to off page, this is more so, this really comes down to like backlinks, okay? Backlinking, okay? Backlinking is somewhat of a myth now, because a lot of people, well, before the Penguin algorithm, where people were just, flooding the internet with their backlinks to websites that are completely irrelevant to their subject matter. Okay, the Penguin algorithm kind of put that to rest. And so basically, backlinking is still very, very, very important. However, it's the social media sharing that Google and the other search engines are now starting to gauge what's the really relevant content that's out there, okay? So basically, when it comes to off-page, it comes down to organic backlinking, right? Organic backlinking. Now, how do you get organic backlinks? Well, you connect with other people who are in your particular niche, okay? And you see if you can backlink to a piece of content that maybe inspired you to write a piece of content, or maybe you came across another piece of content that you thought was really, really good, and you want to link back to them, okay? Basically saying, hey, if I saw this other piece of content from XYZ that was really, really insightful, here, and you hyperlink in your blog post to them. And what you do is, before you do that, you connect with the person and say, hey, take a look at my website. I create pretty good content. I want to link to you. And basically, they ping you back, okay? And basically, that's a way for Google to be like, yo, NT, this person over here is linking to you. Is that your boy? Is that your homie? Okay, you guys are good? All right, perfect, okay? And that's how you get that kind of an organic backlink, okay? And that's really how it comes down to, okay? The next is contextual linking. I know this stuff sounds super technical, but it's not. Contextual linking within your blog post. So let's say, for example, I'm creating a blog post on social media marketing, right? And I cover the different areas, some, social media platforms that are really, really influential. The Facebooks, the Twitters, the Instagrams, the Pinterest, those type of things. And let's say in that piece of content, I briefly talk about Facebook, right? But let's say that there was another day that I created, or in the past that I created a Facebook post. Like, let's say I created a post that just was on Facebook marketing tips. Well, in that post that I'm writing now, where I briefly touched on Facebook marketing, I'm going to hyperlink somewhere in that area where I'm talking about Facebook marketing to the larger blog post that I created before that goes into more detail about Facebook marketing. That's all contextual linking is. And what that does is it adds to your time on site, because now if someone is looking at this blog post on social media marketing and they want to learn more about Facebook marketing, they click that link, it brings them to another page. You see how you're keeping people on your website longer? Google understands that, and Google respects you for creating content, some depth within your website to dig deeper and find more answers, okay? And also, it decreases the bounce rate. And quickly, what a bounce rate is anytime someone comes to your website for the first time, okay, and then they end up leaving, right? That's a bounce, right? As a matter of fact, I'm over here on my website. I don't know if you can see it, right? You probably can't see it, but my bounce rate is 3.69%, right? And the pages per visit on my website is 5.74, right? So 3.69. So let's just give it, let's say 3, right? Out of every 100 people that visit my website, only 3 people go to one page and leave, right? The other 97 people actually go to multiple pages on my website, right? And the pages per visit, right? We're looking at 5+ pages per visit when people are on my website. That's awesome. That's great. That means I'm creating good content, okay? So that's what contextual linking is, and that's what contextual linking does. And last but not least, social backlinks, right? Social backlinks, right? There's different areas on different social media platforms where you can backlink back to your blog post. So for example, when I do this, when I publish this blog post, this video and stuff like that you're seeing, I'm going to create a Facebook note, okay, and basically take the content on my website and make a note on it, and then link back saying, hey, if you want to catch the original video and blog post to this, visit here. You backlink it that way. You can do the same thing on LinkedIn. You can do the same thing for Pinterest. You can do the same thing for Google Plus. Okay, in the edit section, you can actually hyperlink it. Maybe I'll even do a video kind of going further on that. Okay, so again, there's no big secret here. Okay, and I want to keep this as short as possible. I know I'm well over 10 minutes, but whatever. I'm trying to be as entertaining as possible. So this is basically the basics of SEO. Okay, it's not difficult, but I just wanted to give you a scope as to what you're kind of dealing with. And usually when I create my content, it takes me about a half hour to write a solid piece of content. The rest of the stuff that I kind of explained on here, it becomes second nature, and you just naturally do it. You just naturally do it. Trust me. If it took me hours upon hours to create a blog post, I would consider using my time wisely otherwise. Anyway, I hope that you got some value from this. Okay, if you have not gotten your hands on that free video training series, where it basically gives you what I call the 4 pillars of internet marketing. Okay, to really drive home what you really need to have a lasting presence online, not just just Facebook or one area, just the entire lasting presence online. Have a nice, decent website where people can actually learn from you, and that's your house, that's your real estate. You're not, using a Facebook fan page or your Facebook profile or your Twitter or whatever it is, those accounts can be taken from you. Okay, so that's what I give you in that free video training series, and if you have not done that, we are not friends, and we're going to fight someday. I'm just kidding. Anyway, if you're on my blog post right now, to the right side of this video, go ahead and put your name, your information in on that page. I'm going to send you over that free video training series, and I encourage you to go through that and really get a firm foundation as to what's really going on here online, so that you can get started to building, branding, and managing a lasting presence online. Anyway, I hope you got some value from this. Head over there, put your name and information in there, get that free video training series, and I will see you on the next training, my friend. Take it easy.